All right, so this morning was 105.7. It's the exact same as last Monday, which I think is actually a good thing. Mark also had me take some progress pictures last week, and I feel like those would show that I'm leaning out nicely. Throughout the week, I was 104 for a couple of weigh-ins and 103 for a couple of weigh-ins. So generally speaking, early week is when we're filming our videos. Early week is when I'm at my heaviest from a weekend of not really training, and my refeed day is also on the weekend. So the fact that I'm kind of bouncing back to about the same point and falling off throughout the week, I think puts me in a good place. So not a crazy amount of progress necessarily to report, but I'm happy with how things are going for right now.
Instincts going no, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, whole clique getting live on the talk of the town. Let me city had a mouth and it wouldn't shut up. On a hunt for a crown, when I get it, I'ma burn it, cause nobody in the game right now even deserve it. What I need a crown for anyway, I should have a halo the way that I made a penny turn to gold. And a penny for your thoughts, I bet a penny for your soul. And everybody looking at me while I got them all in my sights. Picking them off, taking them out, looking like daylight in the night. And I'm killing so many if they really wanna get involved. And everybody falling from the elevator, now I'm bright rice in this. It's like I'm rice and take a bite, it's nice. And I have a nice time with it. By the time that it finds the way to the right side.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go through my day one. So comp squats, comp bench, rows, and some JM press. Just warmed up, got my first set of squats in. Was able to take a 5 kilo jump this week as opposed to a 2.5 kilo jump last week. Things are feeling pretty damn good. Warm-ups felt really good. Couple reps as I got into that top intensity did not feel so great. Still no pain, but just really kind of trying to get consistent with the technique. And one thing I noticed last week, if you guys saw did I post it? My squat post on Instagram. Every time I hit the bottom, I was doing this with my back and with my elbows, and my shoulder blades were kind of winging out. So that's something I'm really trying to work on today, is making sure that my trunk stays way tighter, because I feel like that's a big part of the inconsistency of my technique, is losing tightness in my trunk. It's something I preach about a lot, tell people to do, but need to take my own advice. Like I said a couple weeks ago, we dialed the intensity back on my squat to try to deal with this nagging hip issue. Spoke to Alex Kowaleski. He helped me come up with a sort of intensity range to start with and a progression. And from there, Mike and I decided on a sets and reps scheme. So it's gonna be between 3 and 6 reps for between 4 and 8 sets. Last week was 6 sets of 4 at 180. And this week's gonna be 7 sets of 3 at 185. And how did I decide on that? Arbitrarily. The album recommendation of the day, which again, like I said last week, is something I'm gonna start doing. Like it or not, I'm gonna tell you guys what music I'm listening to, is the 4 Year Strong self-titled album. It's really damn good, kind of pop punky, nice and upbeat. And yeah, we'll get to it.
Wow, yeah, swear to God I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Wow. Please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who you kidding, man? And yeah. Wow, yeah, swear to God I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Wow. Please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who you kidding, man? Yeah. Say it gon' put me all in a mad with all that mad game you been talking. Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah. Show me this plan that you brought me, and this cash you ain't mentioned yet, dog. I'm done with all that talking. Yeah. No, I don't do pay to play, I get paid to play. And since you're playing games to get paid from me, man, swear to God I'm walking. Yeah. I seen the type before about 100 times, trying to undermine my abilities to be killing anything I target. Yeah.
How are things feeling? Good. Squats went pretty well. It's probably one of my better squat days in a while. I think I kind of quieted the upper body a little bit and didn't get that same, like, I don't know, jitteriness or loss of positioning in the bottom of my squats. I was able to keep my trunk a little more solid, which felt good. Squats moved, pretty well. I don't know, it's like 185 kilos, so it's kind of whatever at this point, but just focusing on making them pain-free and solidifying that technique so that as I creep up into heavier weights, things stay the same and I don't start throwing technique out the window and end up bugging my hip again.
There's a guy who had a benching question.
Yeah.
Clizzy9999.
Clizzy9999 asks,
Great name. Do you think there's any difference between feet up bench versus Larson press?
feet up bench versus what?
Larson press?
Oh, Larson press, which is like, I think where you just let your legs hang off.
Oh yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't really see much difference, and I think if there is a difference, it's probably pretty negligible. So I would say if you're more comfortable with one or the other, just do that for the sake of comfort, really. I mean, the idea is to take your legs out of the press to, you know, make you a little bit more unstable, a little bit more focused on solely stabilizing with the upper body. For me, it limits the range of motion. I get a lot of my arch out of my leg drive, so I think those are the main reasons you would do a feet up or a Larson press. But yeah, I don't think that there's much of a difference between them, no, personally. Bench is feeling really good today. I feel like I'm in a good position, able to keep the chest nice and high, leg drive's feeling good, etc., etc. So we're gonna try for 155 for a triple on top set here. See how that goes. I mean, who knows, but last week's 152.5 was right on the line of an 8. I'd say 8.5, but with how good today's feeling so far, I'm confident that 155 should go pretty well.
You getting stuck, I see feet in the mud. You have been caught in the flood. While the water isn't parted, we run, reap what you sow, the harvest is us. You have been enjoying life, sipping the syrup and aligning the way. Taking whatever you touch, the sword of the wicked is covered in blood. Welcome to the city of the 9 cents. Pleasure is the peace we confide in. Dive in, ride a shotgun alongside the divided. Taking a piece of the pie, takes what was provided. We won't be silenced, the path is wide and we found our God in. Blood, sweat, spit, Henry bricks for Babylon, made from the dust, these stories transfer. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, caught in the sea right now.
Yes, the story Hive. So we've said a few times, and if we haven't, actually I know we have, but thank you guys anyways. We had an amazing response from that, so thanks to everybody who shared it, everybody who voted. It was crazy. We're so happy that you guys kind of jumped on that, and the community really came together and did a lot for us there, so thank you. As far as the results of the story Hive, unfortunately we're not going to know for another 2 weeks or so. I think September 7th is the tentative date that they've set to sort of release the results. Out of the, was it 300 or so applications? There are going to be 15 receiving grants from a panel of judges and 15 receiving grants from, based on popular vote. So we're hoping that, we fit somewhere in that range, but we will definitely let you guys know as soon as we do. What else? What's that?
As far as training, how's that going?
As far as training, I overreached quite a bit on the bench. It was feeling really good on the way up, and then I took 155 for my triple. Probably should have taken 152 again, but I didn't. I was feeling pretty, I don't know. I was feeling a little too good about myself. Got a little cocky and took the 155 for a triple, and it was definitely a 10. Really had to kind of grind out that last rep, so that was a bummer. Subsequently, the singles that followed that were pretty light, which meant that they moved well and sort of, were what they needed to be, I think. Rows feel really good. Did like 142.5 because we don't have 145s, and I wanted to do a little bit more than last time. Got 10 reps there. Felt like I wasn't using too much body English, so that was, I guess, a good thing. And we'll row the 130s with the little magnets on it for like 4 sets of 8 now. I guess I'll talk a little bit about sort of being selective with things that you emphasize in your mind when you're training. So for example, that bench that I took, for a minute there, I was really down about that because that puts my estimated max at about 168 right now, and I hit 182 in my last meet, so I kind of got all, oh poor me and la-di-da, like a little bit upset about how that went for me, but as much as I could, I tried to kind of put that out of my mind. I was really doing, I was benching really well on my singles, so I was trying to really focus in and think about that and concentrate on that to kind of put that out of my mind. And I think that's a really important thing that people can do in order to stay in a good sort of mental groove, even throughout your training. And I think, specifically throughout your training, I think maybe after the session you look back at what went right, what went wrong, you can be a little bit more objective. But for somebody who trains and is somewhat of an emotional lifter like myself, it's really easy for me to get really slanted one way or the other, positive or negative. And I don't think that trying to push my nature out of the picture, like I tried to just take emotion out of lifting, and I don't think that's the right way for me. I think it's more about trying to control that and use it to my advantage. So focusing really hard on the positive things and the little things. And I did good rowing today. I did well rowing today. So focusing on that instead of struggling for that bench triple. Maybe that'll help some of you guys out, some of you guys and girls out. But yeah, just try to focus in on the little things that you're doing right, especially in the session. Afterwards, you can reflect and see what you did right and wrong. But during the session, try to focus on the positives. Keep yourself on pace, keep yourself moving and motivated and in a good headspace.
Another tragedy and we just seem so numb. I need a peace, humanity is dumb. In the streets we see police don't freeze but run. And the next thing that you know, somebody reach for the gun. Then the murder get reciprocated. Man, I swear that that culture discombobulated. All these people picking sides, I'm just trying to circumnavigate it. Got me thinking, man, the situation getting complicated. Let me tell you, all the 90s, baby, got the juice now. Maybe we're the generation that can understand that the content of the character's the measure of a man. If you got breath up in your lungs and the future's in your hands, we don't stand for no put downs. Let them know we still fans.
There's one comment that was asking us if we can talk about your warm-up.
Talk about my warm-up.
Yeah.
We can talk about it. Did you still want to do a separate video with it though?
But I think, instead of talking about it, maybe we'll make a video about it.
I think it's probably a better idea that we make a separate video about the warm-up. It's a combination of concepts that Mike T gave me, and he got some of the ideas from a guy whose name I can't remember, but we will reference him in the warm-up video itself. It's just a series of movements to help get everything working in the patterns that we will be using in the lift of the day, basically.
Cool. So how was your rows and leg press?
Rows felt really good. Like I said earlier, I kind of felt like I was able to get a good pattern on them and not like twist and cheat too much, which is nice because I think a lot of times with heavier row variations, especially when you get into AMRAPs and stuff, it tend to be like pretty cheaty. My pendlay rows, for example, are pretty cheaty most weeks, but yeah, no, it felt good. I felt like I wasn't twisting too much. Got a good little bicep pump going. And then we did JM presses, which are finally, after like 5 or 6 weeks, starting to feel a little bit comfortable. One thing I noticed with JM presses, just to make a quick note for anybody doing them, is that you really don't want to like tuck your shoulders like you're benching. At least I didn't. I noticed that if I leave my shoulders out and I'm very flat backed, it's a lot more comfortable on my shoulder specifically. I still get some impingement issues in my right shoulder from time to time, flares up a little bit, and I found that JM pressing really tucked back like I would want to bench just put me in a really awkward position, and it would like hurt my shoulder. So I leave myself really flat, leave my shoulders out, and then the JM press feels pretty good that way. So been able to progress. I hit 80 kilos for a set of 10 today, so that's a far cry above like the 60 that I was hitting for 10 at the start of this. So I don't know, 20 kilos on my JM press. I don't know if my competition bench has really moved as a result of that, but I don't know, maybe my triceps are stronger. I'm definitely better at JM pressing.
Do you want to, wow, my voice really cracked. Do you want to plug the seminar you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so anybody who is in Calgary or in the area, we're flying Taylor Shadgett out. We got Connor Lutz and myself are going to be doing a powerlifting seminar here at the Strength Edge the September, the 21st, 22nd weekend, I believe, or 22nd, 23rd weekend. We haven't finalized the date or anything yet, but it will be one of those 2 days. And we're going to go over technique. We're going to have a lot of hands-on coaching. I know a lot of times with these seminars tend to get really full. People don't get a whole lot of hands-on attention. That's one thing we try to do, is we're going to limit the number of attendees. So we're going to make sure that people are getting, appropriate hands-on attention. We have a good practical section where people are getting coaching. So we're going to go through the 3 lifts. We'll talk a little bit about nutrition, active passive recovery methods. Connor's going to talk a little bit about how to prioritize powerlifting and kind of balance it within your life. because as an elite level athlete himself and somebody who holds a pretty high stress job, sometimes it can be tough to balance the two, and everybody thinks if you want to be a high level athlete, you just have to, you know, forego and sacrifice everything in your life. He's also married, happily married, and like, you know, has a life outside of powerlifting, so I think he's got a cool sort of perspective on that. And if we have time, I might talk a little bit about business within powerlifting, and just kind of, I don't know, some of the ins and outs of what I do on a day-to-day basis and how Calgary Barbell runs. So if you're interested in that, Dylan's going to be finishing the poster today.
I hope so.
Right, Dylan?
I hope so.
We hope. So we should be posting about that probably before this video comes out, but September 22nd, 23rd weekend here in Calgary. Come on out. I think it's going to be a really, really good time. So that's it for the seminar, and that probably wraps up today's video. So thank you guys for joining us again today. Hopefully there's something that you could take out of this, and we'll see you guys soon for some more stuff. I think tomorrow is going to be a Tattoo Tuesday, or was that last week now?
Oh no.
That's last week because it's this tomorrow.
Oh yeah, this is tomorrow, yeah.
We're filming for next week. Anyways, maybe we'll do another Tattoo Tuesday. Maybe we won't.
Actually,
What?
So this Wednesday then, technically, when this video comes out, is when the warm-up video might be out.
Yes, so we will try to, after all that back and forth while we decide our scheduling on camera, we're gonna put out the warm-up video on Wednesday. Sure, we'll just do that. We'll commit to that now. So we'll do the warm-up video on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about that, give you guys some insight into how and why we do some of that stuff. And thanks for tuning in. Leave a like if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for next time. Bye, guys.
My pigment will not convince him to shoot. But wait a minute, hold up, what's a young villain to do? They tell me that I hate them cause my uniform blue. They won't listen to my statements, say I'm racist and rude. And nobody loves death, I'm afraid of it too. I'm available too. We can talk.